So fingers crossed for that one. Now, Beth Tweddle is one of the Olympic stars, of course, and she's taken part in a special event at the Merchant Taylors Girls' School today. The Girls Go Gold Day is all about getting more girls into sport and promoting the different career options available to them. Well, Jimmy McCracken is headed over there to find out. Hello, Jimmy.
Morning to you, Sean, and they've just kicked off. Beth Tweddle, at this moment in time, even as we speak, is even speaking. She's addressing around about 200 ladies, all elite athletes. They're all from around 20 schools across the country. This is a long-established event, but it's the first time it's been held here in the Northwest, and Merchant Taylors Girls' School in Crosby are very proud to host it, Sean. Professor Greg White is from Liverpool John Moores University, and he can tell me more about it. Good morning to you, Greg. What's the aims and objectives of Girls Go Gold?
Morning, Jimmy. I mean, it's really interesting, actually, because I think invariably when we think about sport, if you think about media and sport, what we think about is men's football, men's cricket, men's rugby. It's very male-dominated. And Girls Go Gold is really about trying to change that, change the attitude, and actually drive to girls directly that there is aspirations, there is a possibility of moving through sport. Sport is incredibly important for girls. And really, it's about capturing all of that. And as we see today, delivering it to over 200 girls, all of whom are athletes at their own schools and clubs around, and just trying to promote it. Now, this is the fourth edition. The previous editions have actually been down south, so it's great to have it up north, up here in Liverpool, at such a great school like Merchant Taylors. But it's really about inspiration. That's what it's about.
Well, let me early on in this conversation then hold my hands up and admit, as a member of the media, that I'm partly responsible for this, aren't I? Because I'm obsessed with interviews with footballers and male athletes. But apart from getting excited about the Solheim Cup, I'm never talking to the established female stars. It's our fault, isn't it?
No, do you know, it's all our faults, I think, to some extent. I mean, what's interesting is every 4 years we come around to the Olympic Games and, you know, Beth's in there talking. Everybody in the country knows Beth Tweddle. There's no doubt about that. But they know her once every 4 years. And I think what we get engaged, and we love female sport. We love to watch women compete on the world stage alongside men. And then what we tend to do is just kind of forget it. You know, people have forgotten about 2012 now. Luckily, we've got the Commonwealth Games in 2014. That will reinvigorate it. But what we've got to try and do is constantly keep it in the media attention, keep that high profile, and that's what's going to make the difference as we go forward.
I get you. So we're going to be speaking in a couple of seconds to a couple of young athletes from Merchant Taylors School. But what will the rest of the athletes and the young ladies here, what will they be hearing and learning today?
I mean, they've got a real treat today, actually, because it's a really eclectic mix. Tragically, they've got to listen to me talk about the sort of physiology of exercise, what limits performance, but not only from athletes, but things like David Williams and John Bishop, who I've worked with, you know, what limits people in order to achieve incredible feats. And then there are things around how the heart functions, taking a look inside the body, actually using specialist techniques to look at the heart, looking at sports drinks, what sports drinks are made of, what difference they make, and then also taking a look at the psychology of sport and the psychology of performance. So it's a real eclectic mix, all targeted at performance.
Greg, I'm going to come back to you in a minute before we finish, but let's speak to Georgia Marsh and Hope Nolan, who are from Merchant Taylors. Ladies, good morning to you. Georgia, are you a sportswoman?
Yeah, I participate in various different sports at school. I'm the games captain, and I'm in the first 11 hockey team.
Really? Is that your specialist, hockey?
Yeah, it's my favourite, but I've also done athletics, and I do cross country as well as a bit of extra. All
right. And Hope, what about you?
I'm mainly a dancer, actually, but I have involved myself in like netball and a bit of athletics, but they're not my strongest, so...
All right, well, I suspect because we've got the LIPA students here today, so I suspect we're going to be exploring the links between dance and sport. Girls, what do you think you'll get from, and all your friends and colleagues that are here, what do you think you'll get from today's event, Georgia?
All the different aspects of sports, like the science behind it, how it works, and there's opportunities to make energy drinks, which like obviously empowers the athletes, and also the physicalities of the sports and the dance workshops and all the different components.
Hope, you're both going to university very soon. Do you think that this will raise your awareness about possible jobs and careers in sport?
Well, definitely, because there's a lot of people here talking to us today. I mean, even like inspirational people like Beth that have come so far, and even they've not been deterred by their downfalls, and they keep going. And I think that's a massive inspiration to the group of girls here today. And it shows you what you can do if you put your mind to it, and it's great. And if you get yourself and be like to professional athletes, and I think it's important.
Absolutely correct. Ladies, just before we go, who are your sporting heroes, Georgia?
On a personal level, I'd say my grandpa, who captained Great Britain in the Walker Cup in golf, but in terms of women and female athletes, has got to be Jessica Ennis, because she's so strong, got all her disciplines, and the face of London 2012 is just incredible.
Oh, what's your granddad's name then?
David Marsh.
David Marsh. Is that Dr. David Marsh? I think I've heard of him. There's an Everton connection there, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
I thought there was. And Hope, who's your sporting hero?
Oh, I have to say Darcy Bussell as a dancer. It just proves that you're never too old to be involved in sports, really.
All right, Hope and Georgia, thank you very much. They were going to say I was the hero, but just another disappointment. Clearly, it will raise the girls' awareness of there are jobs out there. There's sports to be involved in, but there's jobs at the end of it.
No, absolutely right, and it's actually getting women involved in all aspects of sport, from sports industry through to sports competition. And I think it's a really nice point that actually we often think about dance as being slightly different, but what we're talking about is physical activity, physicality, and dance is very much part of that whole genre. So it is about what's open to girls, and it's actually about bringing girls more into the industry, because it's to the improvement of the industry if we can get women involved.
All right, Professor Greg Marsh and Hope and Georgia from Merchant Sailors, thank you very much indeed. That's all for now from Girls Go Gold here in Crosby, Sean, but I can see at the corner of my eye Beth has just finished addressing the girls. Maybe if you've got time we can hear from Beth in a couple of minutes.
We'll certainly do that, Jim. We'll come back to you. Thanks, Jim. Radio Merseyside. Now, we've just been hearing from Jimmy McCracken over at Merchant Taylors Girls' School. Beth Tweddle's over there today as part of the Girls Go Gold Day. It's all about getting more girls into sport and promoting the different career options available to them. And Jimmy's been over, and I think he's collared Beth for a chat. Hello, Jim.
OK, Sean, Beth's standing right beside me now. She's just been speaking to the girls at the start of the event. Beth, good morning to you. Nice to see you again. What did you say to the ladies?
Do you know what? The main message I want to get them across to them is you don't have to give up if there's an obstacle in your way. Obviously, I had disappointment after Beijing in 2008. I didn't quite pick up that Olympic medal, and I thought 4 years was far too long to kind of achieve that dream, but I just kept at it. Even if there was an obstacle or a disappointment in the way, there was enough people around me to kind of build me back up. And so that's the main thing, just don't give up.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big obstacle that you've mentioned, but there'll be more everyday obstacles like catching, training, everyday things, or just maybe thinking, I can't be bothered with this anymore.
Yeah, of course there is. There's always going to be little disappointments along the way, whether it is getting ill, getting injured, or, do you know what, lying in bed thinking, can I actually do this hour's training or get up and do it? But do you know what, when you're standing on that podium or you reach your goal, reach your target, you forget all the hard days, you just remember the good times.
How important do you think it is for young women to have an event like this so that they can benefit from the experience from people such as yourself?
I think it's really important. I mean, they're getting so many different lectures today on different aspects of sport. People just think sport is about participating, but there's so many different aspects. There's the sports science behind it, there's the volunteering behind it. So, do you know what? It's just giving them that wide variety, that wide aspect of sport.
And psychology is an important issue these days. You've already hinted it's all about mental attitude, isn't it? And never giving up.
I think sport is 90% mental attitude. If you stand there and think, I can't do it, then why would you be able to do it? So it's getting up with that positive mental attitude and thinking, it might have not been the best day, but I'm going to find a silver lining behind it.
Or maybe even a gold lining.
Hopefully a gold lining. That'd be amazing. Nice. I only picked up a bronze lining last year, but never mind.
There's still time, darling. Now, the situation is this. I just spoke quickly to Greg, who's one of the organisers here, and as a member of the media, I had to admit that we spend so much time chasing footballers, boxers, athletes. The media does not give a great deal of attention to women's sport, let's be honest. What can be done about that?
Do you know what? Just finding the different sports participating, and there's so many aspects of women's sport that we have to celebrate. And 10 years ago, we didn't have the role models that we used to have. Whereas after London 2012, there was so many females, Jess Ennis, Rebecca Adlington, Victoria Pendleton, that have all shone through, and hopefully the younger girls can look up to them and think, do you know what, they've done it, then why can't we? But if they're not promoted into the limelight as much as these other sports, then how are our young girls meant to follow them?
We've all got a role to play.
definitely everyone has.
Beth Tweddle, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to the couple of hundred schoolgirls from the 20 schools across the country who are here for Girls Go Gold event at Merchant Taylors in Crosby, Sean.
Thank you very much, Jimmy, and thanks to Beth and everyone over there today for us on a great idea, the Girls Go Gold Day. You're with Sean Stiles on BBC Radio Merseyside. We've been talking about the